the microphone to our sisters, I just want to talk a little bit more about the theme and what we are going to be doing over the next few days. The idea, you all know that there is a team that meets together on once a year to create a theme for the Double Foreigner season. And this year also we met in Peace Village, and Sister Mohini was there with us and offering us a lot of support and insight and understanding. Sister Judy was with us and she took us through a journey. And really the idea is that it's not that we create a theme for everyone else, but for the first 2 or 3 days we ourselves spend time together on a spiritual exploration, keeping in mind what we've been exploring and then what it is that we think is useful for us personally. And that really becomes the basis of the topic that we might choose for the rest of the family. So that's exactly what we did this year as well. We spent about a week in Peace Village, 3 days really going through spiritual exploration with the help from Mohini Band, from Judy and others that were present. And because this year the theme had been returning to the source, which you all know about, we had some amazing input, amazing meditations, writings and webinars from coming from New York with that theme. And we felt that to take up that same theme again would mean that all of you would have worked on it and it might just be exhausted a little bit. So we really felt that it was necessary to create a new theme. So we came up with this theme as in a sense of follow-on from that theme of returning to the source, returning to Baba, but also Baba is making us into something. Baba is making us to become like himself. So often the question comes up, are we becoming like Brahma Baba? Or are we becoming like Shiv Baba? What is it actually when we say Bap Saman? And in a sense, it's both. It's not just one or the other. And as we explored and as we thought about it, as we had conversations, we really felt that becoming like Brahma Baba is really our journey. We learned so much. Baba has demonstrated so much to us. What he did, how he lived his life in order to become incorporeal, become perfect, become karmatit, and then ultimately return to Baba and return to becoming like Shiv Baba. So really with that idea in mind, we came up with this theme of becoming Bap Saman, journey and the destination. We have lots of material. The themes that will be taken up for your classes will be related to this. We've also prepared a journal that we'd like to offer you. It's something very specific. It may not, it's in English and it's in Russian. Am I right? So Russian. So there is also in Russian and in English, but we haven't got it in Hindi. So we're going to make it available here for those who want to use it. We're very aware of the environment and saving the trees and so not wasting paper. So we have enough copies for everyone. But if it's something that you like to do, study, read, it's got extracts from Avyak Bapdada on the theme. It's got questions that you can ask yourself, you can journal about, you can explore, you can be reflective. So if you are that way inclined, the copy of the journal is available for you, which we will give to you at the end. But that's the idea, and we really wanted to do something different. So we think of this as a retreat period. Instead of double foreign program, which we always have, and everybody thinks it's the program, but actually, if you think of yourself as being on a retreat the next 10 days, so then there's a different mindset when you're on a retreat. So with that in mind, we created a journal also. So those who'd like it, there'll be a copy available. But in preparation for that, I'd like to ask Didi Chakradhari, Didi Nirmala, and Didi Jayanti I'm not used to calling her Didi because she doesn't like it, and we're used to calling her sister. But so if you could perhaps share with us your journey as to how do you think about becoming like Bap Saman. Really share your own personal exploration. That would be very interesting and fascinating. So, starting with Didi Chakradhari. Thank you.
Om Shanti. So the decoration of Baba's home has reached here. Already this home is decorated with Baba's children, but now it is decorated much more when you reached here. And I was listening, Manda, that so many programs already has fixed for you. So you have to open your apron of intellect so that what you will be given, you bring it in your practical life. As it was said that when I came at that time, Sakar Brahma Baba was here, and once I know, when I, Gulzar Dadi, Jagdish brother and one other sister, coming after doing some services, Baba was standing as if he was standing for welcoming us. So he always welcomed the children when children were at service of Baba. And he wanted to listen the news of the service, what kind of service children have done wherever they have gone. And I have received so much experience and sustenance from Baba that maybe not much more years I remain with Baba, but few years, that I think every 1 month I must come to Baba and live with Baba, sometime 10 days or 15 days I stay with Baba. And once Baba went in Bombay, and specially he called, we the 3 Kumaris, come here, Baba wants to show you what is Bombay. So we specially went there, and Baba gave us so nice sustenance. Some sisters who due to Maya left Baba's hand and went away. So Baba sent us to them and give them the message so that they will remind those days when they were with Baba. And I was experiencing how their tears were coming from their eyes, but they could not face Maya. So Baba always having mercy and love for each and every child. Maybe child is powerful doing service, maybe child is facing Maya, maybe child left the hand of Baba. Even then Baba is giving love to the children. One child who was living in Allahabad here in India in one place, and he was very big person, and due to some cause, he left Baba's hand. But when the birthday of that child came, Baba remembered that child and specially called one brother, child, prepare one gift for my child and take this gift in your hand and go to him and give the gift on behalf of Baba to my child. So I want to say that whatever happened, Baba's love never reduced for his children. And when those children who know start coming, but I think you are invoking by Baba. Baba always remembering children, what you think? My so many children who are waiting for me, and they will come in quite a good number, and you will see that in Mount Abu, buses from Abu Road to Mount Abu, the queue will stand, and my children will come. So I think you have come here not by yourself, not by inviting someone, but by invoking our Bap Dada, who especially remembering each and every one. So Baba, when I see all of you here, I am remembering Baba that if Baba will stand here, he will spread his hands and giving so much love to you. Oh my children, oh my decoration of my home, you have come. Like that, Baba will embrace you and bless you. From my heart, I give so much blessing to all of you that you are such a fortunate children who have come here to awaken your fortune. And I think all the preparation has been done to give you so many treasures so that when you will go back, you feel that now we are understanding how we can become equal to Bap Dada, and now we are approaching to that destination. thanking all of you, welcoming all of you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. My journey to this destination started in 1962. The first day I went to center, I really loved the knowledge and the dharana that this university is teaching. I wanted to be pure and social worker. So by knowing Baba, I knew it is possible for me to remain single, married to Baba, and keep on doing this spiritual service, spiritual social service. And in my early days, I used to really had so much inspiration to be number ahead, like Mama Baba. I used to say, I don't want to be left behind. I must be number ahead of many others. Logic study also, I was always in schools number 1 to 5. So I said in alaukic study also I should be ahead. And love for study, love for yoga helped me to move ahead in this journey. Always keep destination in my mind. I want to become Bab Saman, perfect, complete, and all virtuous, completely viceless. And luckily, I was having many of those qualities that Baba wants us to be. And especially paying attention that I don't have any negativity for the souls who are doing wrong action. That's my main aim these days, not to see their weaknesses, have good wishes and pure feelings. And also, these days, I make effort that I go beyond body. And as I said, luckily I was neither attached to my body nor any human being, nor was I impressed by anyone. I loved and respected Mama, Baba, Dadis, Didis, all. Real respect for all of them, but never attached to anyone. And so I kept on effort to be balanced in loving and being detached. So my journey has been really easy, because Baba says this is easy Gyan and easy yoga. And I never found anything difficult. And that's how I kept on moving forward and always checking myself how much difference is there between me and Baba. Because my thoughts, words, actions should be like Brahma Baba. I had to follow mother and father. And so by keeping attention, checking myself, I am happy that I am moving towards my destination. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. My first memory of Brahma Baba is a long, long time ago when I was just 8 years old. And what struck me at that time was Baba's love, Baba's authority, Baba's power, a magnetic personality. And that image stayed with me in my mind when we went to London to stay there. And when I'd come back to India, then I'd come to Madhuban and meet Baba. But it was really as a wonderful person, an amazing personality without properly understanding Gyan. And then in 1968, when I actually understood Gyan and I came with that understanding to Madhuban, it was a very different experience. It was Baba's last year in Sakar, so I'm very glad that I managed to catch Baba with proper understanding in that last year. And at that time, Baba's focus was on yoga. For some time, through April and May, Baba had been conducting Amrit Vela, but conducting Amrit Vela, then after that, the Murli, and then doctor's orders, choose, you want to do one or the other. And so Baba decided that he would conduct the Murli rather than Amrit Vela. And there was a very sweet scene when we arrived at the station in Abu, and one of the sisters, it was always, everything was done by sisters at that time. The accommodation was sisters, the cooking was sisters, the receiving at the station was sisters. There were only a handful of brothers in Madhuban, and mostly it was sisters. And later the system changed and brothers came into action in all the different departments. So this sister, her name was a very interesting one, Bhuri Dadi, and her name means doll. And so she looked beautiful like a doll, literally. That's why she'd been given that name. So the first thing she said to us as we arrived at the station is, do you know, Baba's not going to conduct Amrit Vela now. Dadi was quite shocked. She was with us, Dadi Janki, we'd come from Pune. And we came up the mountain, and normally Dadi would take us all off to our rooms and we'd shower and then come to meet Baba. But this time she was so concerned about this message she'd heard that we came instantly into Baba's room. We were following her, and she came into Baba's room and we followed. And at that time, she didn't say, Baba, I'm here, how are you? Baba saw her, she saw Baba, and instantly she said, Baba, I hear that you're not going to conduct Amrit Vela anymore. And Baba gave a drishti, and the drishti calmed her down. And then Baba said, did you not receive the drishti all these days? I was giving you drishti. Did you not feel it? And she blushed and said, yes, Baba, I've been receiving your drishti. And so that scene that wherever you are, when you remember Baba with love, Baba remembers you and sends you his drishti, his sakash. That stays with me. And another incident also underlined the message of yoga for me at that time. A sister was supposed to have picked up a parcel coming from Punjab via Delhi to Abu, and her train had been delayed, and she was concerned that she'd miss her next connecting train to Abu. So she didn't pick it up. Going into Delhi city was going to be a long journey, time consuming, so she didn't pick it up. And when she arrived here, Ishu Dadi asked her, "Did you pick up the parcel?" And she said no. And Ishu Dadi just said, "It was medication for Baba." And she really felt, I missed out on something. And then there was a small group, and we were in the hut, Baba's kutia, and it was mostly the seniors, but somehow I was able to sit there and watch and listen. And the subject was, what is the proof of yoga? How can we know we are having good yoga? And they were discussing it, and I was listening. And Baba came in and sat, and it was just a small group. And they said to Baba, "Baba, this is our discussion." And Baba said, when there's good yoga with Baba, you catch Baba's signal, and you know where you have to be and what you have to do at the time of need. And the sister who was sitting there was the person who'd forgotten. And it was like you could see that she was very deeply moved that Baba hadn't said anything else to her about why did you not, why did this, nothing. But Baba's definition of being yog-yukt, accurately linked in yoga with Baba. So that whole season was yoga, the signs of yoga, Baba making that personal effort for yoga. And so it was a very good beginning for my Brahman life, the focus on yoga. And then a year later, about a year later, exactly a year later actually, Avyakt Baba said to me, "Baba wants you to go back to London to do service. Baba's not sending you for karmic accounts, but for yoga, for service." And that mantra stayed with me. But for the first few months, there was no service. Nothing was happening. I'd only been in Gyan a year. And the nearest center was 5,000 miles away. And after 2-3 months of knocking on doors, and they'd smile, hear a little, and say, "It's okay, come back later." So nothing was moving. And I wrote a letter to Madhuban, and Dadi Prakashmani had said to me she would read my letters in English and she would reply in Sindhi or Hindi. My mother knew Sindhi, so that was going to be fine. Hindi I'd learned. And so around August time, I wrote to Dadiji and I said, "Dadi, there's no service here. I think I should come back to India." It was more comfortable. There was a big Brahmin family. A service was ready-made. And Dadiji wrote back saying, even if there isn't outside service, there's always self-service. And that became the foundation. I'd always used to think that the Dadis had 14 years of tapasya. How am I ever going to catch up in terms of yoga with the 14 years of tapasya that they had? And now, according to Brahma, Baba gave me an opportunity to have tapasya. And so it was my own personal timetable of tapasya for 2 years. And then service started and didn't stop, and service continues. But it's something I always remember, Baba's focus on tapasya and Baba's attention on yoga. And as we're hearing these 1968 Murlis, these are the Murlis of Baba's last days in Sakar, it's again reminding me that yes, Gyan is beautiful. It was the beauty of knowledge that brought me to Baba, but it's the power of yoga that's going to make me karmatit And that definitely is the goal I have in front of myself. I don't want to be adding any further karma. I don't want to be having to still go through the process of settling. I want to settle with the power of yoga. And just as Baba flew away at the right moment, to be able to have such a state of lightness and detachment that if Baba calls, the soul's able to fly. Not so close to that yet, but definitely it's the journey, and that's the aim. Yes, Baba is the one who's going to fill me with everything, and each day is an experience of taking from Baba, becoming more full, but also sharing to get the blessings of others. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much to each one of you. Hearing about Sakar Baba always feels as if he didn't need to make any effort. Perhaps you can talk about that sometime. He was perfect when he came. So you can share how that was. Was that really the case? Or he made the effort, but we never really, or you never really saw him make the effort, because you speak of it as if he was already everything that you want him to be. So there's a question for you in advance. So we'll now have meditation for about 15 minutes, and we're finishing early so that those who are here from Pandav Baba